department through ensuring that we deal with the medical supply depot. Secondly, intervening on issues of leadership in terms of financial management, in terms of human resource management, and most importantly, just the organizational design in the Department of Health.
Okay. Is that a big worry for you?
That's a major area of responsibility, because if we don't have efficiencies in terms of leadership and systems in the Department of Health, we'll end up having the very challenges that we've been dealing with, the lack of medical supplies, the accruals that we've been dealing with. But we've been able to make a major breakthrough. We will be presenting to the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Health at the end of this month our turnaround strategy. We'll also be looking at issues of economic development. That's one area that we're going to be focusing on. Issues of jobs, issues of freight and logistics, the hubs that we are building in the province, working together with the city of Ekurhuleni around the Erythropolis, as well as working with central government around major infrastructure projects. The other important area that we would be looking at is making sure that we have efficiencies in our service delivery sites. 150 service delivery sites are going to be paid attention to for this financial year, and we'll also strengthen the work of our Premier's hotline.
Okay, but what does it mean, a service delivery hub? What happens there?
That's where we'll have a multidisciplinary team, presence of government officials and institutions that would actually be a one-stop center for our own communities. Those two-song service centers, we want to jack them up. We don't want them to be ad hoc structures. They have to be permanent structures so that they can complement the capacity of the ward committee, of the ward councillor, of the team that is implementing a project. But they can also become a contact point for communities as and when they want to engage with government on issues of service delivery.
Is this not just another layer? I mean, is it not better to support the ward committees themselves directly?
That's precisely the issue that I'm raising, that one of the major challenges in terms of our system of governance is that we've got somebody who represents communities but who doesn't have capacity in terms of administrative support. So we want to link our ward committees, our ward councillors to the various two-song centers so that then they can access government departments from one area of contact.
Yeah, just in terms of, I mean, local government, that's where the priority with service delivery is and stuff like that. So is this not in some ways, perhaps, will it not lead to usurping some of the responsibilities there?
In fact, many instances you find that ward councillors are blamed for things that are not necessarily their area of responsibility.
Okay.
When ESCOM decides to switch off, when the challenges of electricity supply, when we have issues around the allocation of housing, issues of just access to schooling and stuff, we need to make sure that we capacitate the ward councillors such that they are capable of dealing with these issues. In the spirit of cooperative governance, the ward councillor and the ward committee must become a point of mobilization, of accountability by government, as well as interaction with our own communities. We have a plethora of structures that work in our communities, but they are not coordinated and they do not actually serve in terms of giving the support to a ward councillor, and hence in many instances our ward councillors get exposed. I believe it is time that central government, provincial government, local authorities, we need to make sure that we empower those who are closer
so that's
to our
what the
communities.
two-song center will do.
That's how we want to turn around the two-song service centers. They must not be things that are outside or away from the capacity for our ward councillors.
Okay, just Premier, earlier on we were talking about what the ANC Youth League is saying. We're talking about free education. Is that possible?
We've made major breakthroughs in this province, over and above just national policy around access to basic education. We've gone to an extent of providing more than 3,000 bursaries to learners who are coming from no-fee schools and who are from child-headed families. We've provided them bursaries. As we speak now, we've spent more than 3 billion as a province over the past 2 years. On the 3,000.
Okay.
And interestingly, Vuyo, the majority of those learners who have benefited in terms of our own bursary schemes are girl learners, which also indicates that access to education for a girl learner is actually improving.
But is it possible? No free schools?
There are no-fee schools in this province, and we are actually increasing the number of no-fee schools.
As a percentage of the number of schools in the province?
As we speak now, almost 40% of our public schools are no-fee schools in Gauteng.
Okay, and they are easily accessible?
They are easily accessible. They are in communities that you have the majority of indigent families, and where you also look at the income levels of the families that the learners are coming from. And we've consciously taken a decision position to top up even that has been a conditional grant from central government out of our own revenue as a province.
And they are adequately capacitated. It's not schools that members of the community can look at and say, even though it's a no-fee school, I don't want my kids to go there.
We have even gone to an extent of putting additional programs, such as the Senior Secondary Improvement Program, where we have additional extra lessons, where we recruit additional professional people who come in to come and provide extra lessons. And we have seen many of our schools that were not doing well actually turning around and performing better. And this is a Gauteng intervention on its own, because we have taken education quite serious.
And then on the issue of land expropriation, is that possible?
One of the challenges in our province, because we're a province that has got private ownership being predominant in terms of land ownership, we have found it difficult, for example, to move at the pace that we would have loved to move at in Alexander because of private land ownership and many other areas. We believe that we would want to make a meaningful contribution around the inefficiencies of a willing seller, willing buyer. We need to look at that. But we must also start first by having access and disposing public-owned land, because we've got parastatals that own land, and they must be the first to release land for government to be able to utilize.
The Gauteng government doesn't own any land that can be used in this regard?
We do own land, and we have actually started by using our own land. We have also been able to trade between public priorities and other economic opportunities in terms of land use management. The most important other thing that we need to take into cognizance in Gauteng is the dolomitic nature of land. We want to take our people closer to areas of economic opportunities, and in this financial year, part of what we are actually working on, it's the acquisition, it's the purchasing of land. Last year we spent more than 32 million purchasing land for human settlement. In this financial year, we will be working through the Planning Commission and our various municipalities in getting additional land for building integrated human settlements, because we have moved away from just building RDP houses in Gauteng into building new cities and towns.
All right. Just to conclude, the last issue, we're talking about infrastructure, e-tolling. Where is it now?
E-tolling, as we know, there is a team that is being convened by the Deputy President. The province is being kept in constant consultation through that particular team. Myself and the MEC are participating in those processes, and we believe that the approach that has been taken by central government is an approach that we need to all give support.
All right. Premier, good luck with your speech this morning. It's going to be when? At 10 o'clock?
Yes, now at 10 o'clock. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Premier Nomvula Mokonyane joining us to talk about some of the priorities in the speech that she's going to be delivering this morning. Thank you for your time. You're watching Morning Live on SABC2. It is now 16 minutes before 8 o'clock. Let's get a traffic news update now. Rob, good morning to you.
Yeah, morning.